Let me start by saying good morning to my friend. Please be seated. Please be seated. Please be seated.
Excuse me, Council Biddies, 1 second, Madam Mayor.
Okay,
Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen,
All right.
she ready.
All right.
Ladies and
See
gentlemen,
you.
I am pleased to introduce the first woman and 100th mayor of the city of Philadelphia, Mayor Cherelle L. Parker. The floor is yours, Madam Mayor.
That's all right now, Mr. President. Good morning to my friend, Council President Kenyatta Johnson, to Council's leadership team, Majority Leader Catherine Gilmore Richardson, Majority Whip Isaiah Thomas, Deputy Majority Whip Cindy Bass, Minority Leader Kendra Brooks, Minority Whip Nicholas O'Rourke, and every member of City Council. To members of the Philadelphia delegation and all statewide leaders here with us today, AG Sunday, we are super excited about your presence. Thank you so very much, sir, for being here. To our faith leaders, men and women of organized labor, community leaders, the business and philanthropic community, members of my cabinet and our city workers, and to everyone watching online, listening on Word, and tuning in on TV, good morning and thank you for welcoming back home into the chambers of the Philadelphia City Council. Before I begin telling my story, I need to say a special thank you to two people in particular who are the foundation on which I stand. I want to say a special thank you to my 12-year-old son, Langston Mullins, and to my former husband and parenting partner, Benjamin Mullins. He's here somewhere today. Okay, I see you. Langston and Ben, I love you both very much, and I couldn't do this job without you. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you. Last year, I told the story about how my journey to public service began in this chamber. I gave a Black History Month speech here as a 17-year-old high school student. I later came here to work, and I learned from giants, my mentors, council members Marion Tasco and Gussie Clark. Yes. With role models like Anna Verner, Joan Krajewski, and Janie Blackwell. These leaders taught me many things, but none more important than this. If you show up and do the work every day for the people of Philadelphia, good things will follow. I am proud to return today as the 100th mayor of our great city of Philadelphia, having submitted my proposed fiscal year 2026 budget, 5-year plan, and recommended capital budget and program to City Council for its consideration. Last year, I called it One Philly Budget. That was the title of the budget. It was how we would fund my promise to the people of Philadelphia for a safer, cleaner, and greener city with access to economic opportunity for all. With the collaboration and hard work of this council, we delivered on that promise by approving a $6.37 billion budget that invested in a city government that people can see, touch, and feel. This year, Mr. President, I am calling it the One Philly 2.0 budget, the new and improved version. It's a $6.7 billion budget brimming with vital investments for Philadelphians. However, before I dive into the details, I need to share a story about something that happened 6 weeks ago in our city. On January 31st, an unimaginable black swan event struck our city. An airplane crashed near the Roosevelt Mall in Northeast Philadelphia. 7 people tragically lost their lives. 2 more remain hospitalized with severe burns, including a young boy whose father perished that night. By now, Philadelphia, you know that your mayor is a praying mayor. And so I ask that you pray for all of the victims of this tragedy. And I'm going to ask everyone in attendance to please stand with me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Our emergency responders, Philadelphia Police and Fire, and other city workers responded immediately to the crash, and they have continued working every day since to help the people of Northeast Philadelphia recover. Our mayor's business action team met with dozens of businesses impacted by the crash. Our neighborhood and community engagement team knocked on every door in the neighborhood to let people know where to find help. Our licenses and inspections team inspected every impacted home for structural issues. And we are providing trauma and behavioral health care to those who need it. People know that they can call 988, and our support staff will help you get through this tough time. Council members Driscoll and O'Neill, Northeast Philadelphia is resilient and strong like our city, and we will not rest until we have provided every support available for our residents and businesses. I'm going to ask the following individuals to please stand. Police Commissioner Kevin Bethel, Fire Commissioner Jeff Thompson, Managing Director Adam Teal, Emergency Management Director Dominic Morellis, Director Alba Martinez and Celine Wilson from our Commerce Department, L&I Commissioner Basil Miranda, and Hassan Freeman from our Neighborhood and Community Engagement team. Every city employee who has served residents at the crash site, if you're here right now, stand. Let us now honor every city worker who has worked at the crash site or in the surrounding community. Thank you. Thank you. Now, before I address the challenges in front of us in fiscal year 2026, I need to highlight some of the challenges we took on in the current year, FY 2025, and look at how we did so far. In other words, don't just listen to what I say, watch what I do, or in this case, what we have done. We fact-check what we do in the Parker administration and what we promise to the people of Philadelphia. So I want you to know that we cross-checked every promise that I made in last year's budget, 33 promises to be precise. And in the flyer that we're handing out today, we're letting you know exactly how we did so far. We do not promise perfection, and we are doing the best we can with what we have, and I want you to take a look. On public safety, I said it last year that I felt a sense of urgency and that we be laser focused and unapologetic about improving public safety. How did we do? Homicides are down 37%. Shootings are down 36%. And we have 200 police officers doing community policing in our neighborhoods. I promised it, and it's working. One of those new community policing officers is here with us today. Police Officer Anastasia Briscoe, who joined the police department last fall, is now walking a footbeat in the 1st District in South Philadelphia around Broad and Snyder, and she's getting to know the people that we are sworn. Thank you so very much for your support and service and for being there, not only when people call 911, but proactively. I want you to know that our officers are working hard and helping to make our city safer. It's not just policing, though. Our mantra is prevention, intervention, and enforcement. PIE, led by Chief Public Safety Director Adam Geer and Police Commissioner Kevin Bethel, we practice it every day. Anti-violence, we awarded $19 million to anti-violence community-based organizations that know their neighborhoods best in 2024, and another $24 million so far this year. It's making a difference. Youth sports, we're funding youth sports because that is how we will help to give our children a positive path. Our kids shouldn't have to stand on street corners with helmets and drums to raise money. Their city should support them, and we are. $3.2 million in the current budget. Two special people are here today, and I want them to stand. Amir Fisher is a football player, and his coach, Donald Richardson, from the Black Hawks Athletic Club in North Philly are here. Please stand. Where are they? Hey, Coach. Thank you so very much, Coach. We appreciate you, and we are happy that you are here. Now we're going to turn to something that's extremely important, and that's clean and green. I promised a new office an approach to tackle quality of life issues and banish that Philadelphia moniker once and for all. So how'd we do? We cleaned over 67,000 city streets and neighborhood corridors, 67,187 to be precise. We towed 11,617 abandoned cars and vehicles. Thank you to the Philadelphia Police Department, Parking Authority, and Clean and Green. We also cleaned 17,319 vacant lots. Thank you, CLIP, and thank you, PA Horticultural Society. This is intergovernmental collaboration at its best, and we are proud. The next issue that I'm going to talk with you about is one that you all know is near and dear to my heart. That's PHL-TCB. We promised we fund PHL Taking Care of Business, a community-based cleaning program that creates economic opportunity at the same time. How we do? TCB employs 324 workers, and we're supporting 39 community-based organizations that are cleaning up 155 commercial corridors. By the end of March, TCB will add new organizations and more workers to clean 39 more areas across Philadelphia. Now we'll turn to education. We promised that we would invest in year-round schooling to give our children the same opportunities as children in the suburbs. And guess what? We now want to measure how we did in this effort. We opened 25 extended day and extended year pre- and after-school programs, traditional public and charter schools offering over 7,000 new slots for educational enrichment, and that's progress. That is progress. We increased the portion of the real estate tax going to school districts to provide an additional $125 million over 5 years. We also added $125 million over 5 years for schools going through our property revaluation process. These added funding streams for schools are in addition to the $280 million contribution that we make each year to the school district through the budget process. Now, I want you all to do the math. I want you to do the math. And this is important, especially for our state leaders who are present. I think Chairman Hughes and Harris are here. That's more than $1.4 billion in contributions over the next 5 years, in addition to the $250 million in new support. We see and hear you, Dr. Wadlington, and folks, this is just a snapshot of what we've been able to get accomplished. You can clap for that. That's important. Thank you. I also want to note that we are never satisfied in this administration and know that we have a lot more work to do. But we made progress. And in our first year, and City Council has been a full partner in that progress, Mr. President. We actually did a whole lot more, but we want to get to this budget and our plans for FY 2026. But quickly, before we do that, know that you can go to our brand new data tracking website, Philly Stat 360, and look at the wide range of city programs and see for yourself how we're doing. Councilmember Landau, you know, like I do, that solid data and transparency are essential for making good decisions in everything that we do. Philadelphia, if you haven't gotten a close-up look, go to our new Philly Stat 360 dashboard and see it for yourself. Kristen Bray and Melissa Scott, I see you both. And let me say one more thing before we dive into fiscal year 2026 and my proposed budget. And this is important that I as mayor share this with the city. I know there is uncertainty in the air right now. People don't know what to expect from their government. And uncertainty can breed fear. I want the people of Philadelphia and our city employees to hear me. Your city is here to keep you safe and to safeguard your basic rights. Our diversity is what makes us one Philly, a united city, and we will never compromise that. Let us start with the state of the city's fiscal health. The state of the city's fiscal health remains strong. We continue to make contributions to the Budget Stabilization Reserve Fund. It will have $280 million by the end of the proposed 5-year plan. That fund will be especially important as we face economic and federal policy uncertainties moving forward. I want to thank you, Councilmember Catherine Gilmore Richardson, for your strong leadership on this issue. The trajectory of the city's pension fund continues to move in the right direction. We've now reached a 65% funding level, the highest in decades. That's an increase of more than 20 percentage points in just 8 years. And it's due to reach 80% in FY 29 and 100% by FY 33. That was a key factor, you know, that led S&P Global Ratings to upgrade the city of Philadelphia to its highest combined credit rating in decades. Finance Director Rob Dubois, Budget Director Sabrina Maynard, City Treasurer Jackie Dunn, Deputy City Treasurer Matt Bowman, and all of the dedicated finance employees, take a bow and thank you so very much for your service. I also want to thank the members and staff of the Pension Board, our municipal unions, City Council, and our Philadelphia delegation to the General Assembly. Everyone has played a role in the stabilization of our pension fund, a development with enormous fiscal consequences for our city. We all know that higher credit ratings are a key factor in determining the interest rate the city pays when we borrow money. Lower interest rates mean we pay less to borrow and can invest more in city services for our residents. But our discipline with the pension fund does even more. Once these obligations to our workers are fully funded, our annual general fund costs will drop more than $430 million. That's real money we can use for our biggest priorities. We will face fiscal challenges ahead, and as you'll remember from last year, and this is always important for me to get on the record, I noted that the city borrowed $1.3 billion in the 1990s to shore up our pension fund. And guess what? We're still paying for it today. From now through FY29, we'll pay $1 billion in debt service, including an $80 million balloon payment in FY29. But no worries, we'll meet our obligations, as we always do. I will not allow anything to compromise our fiscal stability. Now, let's turn to FY26 and see what's in this budget for Philadelphians. We are continuing to make big and bold investments in our city and our residents, just as we did in our first year. Let's start with public safety, my number one priority as your mayor. As I said earlier, our motto of PI, prevention, intervention, and enforcement, is the baseline for all of our public safety efforts. We cannot police our way out of the problems associated with gun violence or open-air drug markets anywhere in our city. We can't. Police alone won't do it. It is our comprehensive public safety strategy that is making a difference. Councilmember O'Rourke, we all know that a comprehensive strategy is essential. And our PI strategy, it is beginning to show results. Under Chief Public Safety Director Adam Geer, many action steps are underway, and we are making further investments in public safety in FY26. Neighborhood Wellness Court. We opened the Neighborhood Wellness Court as a pilot in January in Kensington. I want to wholeheartedly thank the 1st Judicial District for working with the Parker administration on this innovation. The Wellness Court offers fast-track diversion for people arrested for drug-related offenses. In FY26, we will expand Neighborhood Wellness Court to a 5-days-a-week pilot, a $2.7 million investment in wellness that will be well spent. In addition, thank you. In addition to a judicial hearing and warrant clearance, defendants can receive same-day medical and behavioral health assessments, treatment intake, and other services, all in one setting. This innovative new program, it complements our existing police-assisted diversion, or PAD, which provided pre-booking diversion for drug-related offenses in over 1,000 cases already last year. We will also expand police-assisted diversion in FY26 as a pilot with a $2.8 million investment. Both of these public safety investments are designed to get more individuals suffering from a multitude of ailments off the streets and connected to the treatment services that they deserve. Public safety is not just about programs, it is about real Philadelphians. With this in mind, I'm proud that one of them is here with us today, Alan Burrell. Alan was shot 10 times. He was referred to our group violence intervention initiative by a family member. His aunt believed that GVI could help Alan. He has engaged actively with our GVI program and dedicated himself to making a change. He enrolled in workforce development programs, and today he is working full-time with the city of Philadelphia. Alan, please stand and be recognized. We appreciate you and your journey. You are why we do this work, Alan. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Alan. It wasn't 10 times. It was 25 times. These are just some, and he's still standing. Give that a round of applause. These are just some of the many prevention and intervention-based programs that our Office of Public Safety is leading on every day. I want to thank Councilmember Curtis Jones Jr. and all of City Council for creating this office just over a year ago. It is making a difference in helping Philadelphia to become safer. Councilmember Jones, I believe the Office of Public Safety is practicing intergovernmental collaboration exactly as your blueprint for a safer Philadelphia called for. You helped lay the roadmap, and we thank you. You heard the numbers already. Our homicides and shootings are down significantly in Philadelphia compared with a year ago, and they're declining more sharply here than in other big cities. But no one is exhaling or shouting mission accomplished around here. Every homicide, every incident of violence is a loss for Philadelphia and a stain on our city soul. Someone's son or father, daughter or mother, family member or friend, they are not statistics, they are human beings. And I will never rest until every family and individual in every neighborhood feels safe in their home and walking the streets of their community. We have much more work to do, and our police department, under the leadership of the greatest police commissioner in the nation, is more than up for the job. What else are you doing with public safety? We're embracing technology to improve our performance. The police department will move forward with a new forensics lab to assist the force with forensics investigations to help solve crime. Now, I got a firsthand look at how good our department is at forensic science. During its painstaking investigation following the plane crash in Northeast Philadelphia, Dr. Michael Garvey, our police department's director of forensic science, thank you for your service during this difficult investigation. We're investing, thank you, Doc, thank you. Thank you. We're investing in forensic sciences now to get you and the department more support. Dr. Garvey, we want you to know that our FY26 through FY30 plan, we are excited about it. It includes an additional $67 million for a new forensics lab and related costs. It's money well spent to help us solve crime and to keep Philadelphia safer. We listen to you. I am also proud to publicly announce that the new lab will be located in West Philadelphia at 4101 Market Street. This will mark a giant step forward in forensics technology and crime-solving ability for our police department. And Doc, as you can see, we've been listening. We're also making progress, you should know, at recruiting, training, and hiring new police officers too. Last year, 369 officers went through our police academy and joined the force. That is a significant increase from previous years, when only 201 officers joined the department. I'm also very proud to report that every police officer on the streets of Philadelphia will be outfitted with a body-worn camera by the end of this year, 2025. Yes. But that's not all. We're moving towards installing dash cam cameras in every police patrol car too. That's critical. It's a critical tool that's used by the Pennsylvania State Police. We know that these investments protect our officers and the public, and I've always made it clear. I fully support every police officer who's on the front lines protecting and serving Philadelphians, so long as they do so without any misuse or abuse of their constitutional authority. We support those who protect and serve. That is important for me to mention Philadelphia because I've often been criticized for being too pro-police. I don't agree. Philadelphians want to be safe and feel safe, and they deserve that basic human right, and I am unapologetic about supporting our police department. I have one more thing to say about our police department. We all hear about the sacrifices that our police officers make to be on the front lines, protecting Philadelphians. It's one thing to hear about those sacrifices. It's another thing to live them. Last June, police officer Jamie Roman was on patrol in Kensington when he made a routine car stop. The stop turned deadly, and when a suspect shot Officer Roman, he was gravely wounded. Officer Roman clung to life before succumbing to his wounds in September. He gave the last true measure of devotion to our city. His widow, Jasmine Hernandez, is here with us today. Please, let us all rise to honor Officer Roman's ultimate sacrifice for Philadelphia. Jasmine, we will be here for you and your family. It's a tragically tough time. We thank you. Now, we also deserve public safety on our roadways and streets, so we'll start talking about Vision Zero. This time last year, I signed an executive order recommitting the city of Philadelphia to the goal of reaching zero traffic deaths. In alignment with the Vision Zero Task Force, my administration has moved to advance safety projects across the city with a focus on every mile of the high injury network where the majority of fatal and serious injury crashes occur. The speed cameras on Roosevelt Boulevard, one of the most dangerous roads in the nation, have saved over 50 lives. Meanwhile, Councilmember Isaiah Thomas, who has been a leader on this issue, is pressing for more red light cameras that will help to keep us safe. Thank you, Councilmember Isaiah Thomas, for your work. This public safety work matters, and I also want to give a special thanks to State Representative Ed Nielsen and our delegation in Harrisburg. This program is permanent and allowing us to expand to 5 more corridors. Yes, 5 more corridors, 5 more. Since then, and working closely with this body, including Councilmember Jeffrey Young, who chairs the Streets Committee, we're installing cameras on North Broad Street and PA 13, two more major roadways on the highway injury network. However, we know far more needs to get done and will get done to finally eliminate all traffic fatalities in our city. This is why our proposed budget and plan includes major investments for a slate of Vision Zero projects. We're committing $5 million for Vision Zero in FY26 and $30 million in capital investments over 6 years for speed cushions, line striping, and other traffic safety measures. But this isn't even close to the whole story. Why? Because we've secured and put to work millions of dollars, millions more from the state and federal governments. All of this will help us reach our goal. Every Philadelphian deserves to travel safely throughout our city and return home safe and unharmed. It doesn't matter where you live or work, your age, race, or ethnicity, income, or how you choose to travel. You deserve to be safe traveling on our streets. Now, one more thing that I have to mention, because people talk to me about this more than any other issue as it relates to travel in the city of Philadelphia. I am proud to report that once the Martin Luther King Bridge behind the Art Museum is completed, that Martin Luther King Drive will fully reopen and you'll be able to drive through straight to the Parkway. That's right? If you live in Northwest Philadelphia or in West Philadelphia, you know how valuable that route is to get downtown. So we are really excited. They're saying that it'll be done by September. Streets Commissioner Kristen Del Rossi, I know you're on it and we are grateful. Give that another round of applause, please. Now we'll turn to SEPTA. Public transportation is critical to sustainable, resilient neighborhoods. So let's talk about SEPTA for a moment. SEPTA is facing its own set of difficult fiscal challenges. That's why this budget and 5-year plan, it includes $716 million in operating support to SEPTA over 5 years and a $76 million capital match over the capital program. Philadelphia, this is important. Don't let anyone tell you that we're not contributing our fair share to help SEPTA while we await the Commonwealth's support to put the system on solid ground. We are and we will continue to support mass transit. Public transportation, it is absolutely vital for our city's future, and we hear you, Councilmember Jamie Gaultier. Mass transit and SEPTA matters. Clean and green, FY26. As with public safety, there's no other issue I hear about more from residents than clean and green. And they tell me they can see and feel a difference, but we're just getting started. First, Director Carlton Williams and our departments are going to partner with nonprofits, community groups, and philanthropy to implement a new 10-point greening plan. We're talking about neighborhood actions here, like tree planting, vacant lot cleaning and greening, improving our parks, supporting community gardens, and much more. Councilmember Kendra Brooks, we know how important community gardens are, and we'll lift them up through clean and green. In addition, That's why my administration strategized and drafted the priority bid legislation for the land bank and asked you to introduce it because of your work. Your partnership is invaluable, Councilmember Brooks, and we will address the greening and ownership of vacant lots. Please give Green Space a round of applause. At the same time, a new anti-litter task force is going to coordinate efforts across government to enforce litter and blight violations while we target with increased fines and hundreds of surveillance cameras the illegal dumping that plagues so many neighborhoods. We're also going to be removing graffiti from highway passes and hotspots in our neighborhoods, and we'll invest $2.4 million over 3 years to redirect graffiti artists' energy through powerful programs run by Mural Arts to display their talent for all to enjoy. Why? Because we can't forget that this is what many thousands of people will see when they visit our city in 2026. A first impression matters, and we're going to make a good one. We're also investing, and this is important, $4.2 million in planters to be installed along neighborhood commercial corridors. These will beautify our streets while helping to improve traffic safety. If they can work in Center City and Chestnut Hill, then we deserve them all over the city. As for the programs we started last year, the One Philly citywide cleaning program, twice weekly trash collection, and residential cleaning crews by council district, none of this is going away. Now, the game plan going forward is to expand them and make them more effective. Twice a week trash collection in Center City and South Philly now, Mr. President, and we'll bring it next to North Philly this year. We see you, council members Young and Senator Street. Housing, housing, housing. Last month, I was thrilled to formally launch our housing initiative by signing an executive order creating the Housing Opportunities Made Easy Initiative, or HOME for short. My promise is this: 30,000 units of housing created or preserved while I serve as your mayor. Now, to accelerate the planning process, the executive order I signed set several important steps into motion. First, some 25 city departments and offices are charged to make housing one of their top priorities. They have 30 days to come up with recommendations, to streamline processes, cut red tape, and make legislative and regulatory changes that will help spur the faster production and restoration of housing without sacrificing health and safety. Councilmember Cindy Bass will need your expertise on zoning issues as we work together on housing. At the same time, and this is important, we're engaging an advisory group and dozens of external stakeholders. You can only get big work done around a big table. So I'm talking about developers and CDCs, partners like Philadelphia Works, PHDC, PHFA, and the Philadelphia Housing Authority, and key players in the industry like the BIA, GBCA, and the building and construction trades and carpenters. All of these folks will be helping to shape our housing plan. Now, I know you may be wondering, how much is this going to cost? Or where's the actual housing plan? I am proud to announce one part of the funding strategy today. I am also pleased to reveal that for the first time in the history of our city, we will have a special session on housing, hosted by my friend and our legislative leader, Council President Kenyatta Johnson, and this council on March the 24th. March the 24th, that's the day, D-Day for housing. That's when we'll share all of the details of our proposed housing plan. This is going to be an historic, unprecedented investment for Philadelphians. Council President Johnson, in our meetings and when we talk, I have long said that this plan, housing preservation and the building of new, will be one of our Maynard moments, referencing the late Atlanta Mayor, Maynard Jackson, who created real, tangible, and ongoing economic opportunities for Atlantans. To get started with the first part of the funding strategy, I want you to know that over the course of my 5-year plan, this administration will issue $800 million in bonds for our housing plan. Yes, $800 million. And not only that, we will begin by issuing $400 million of those bonds in FY26, and we plan on spending that money as quickly as possible. I want shovels in the ground, and I want houses rehabbed and restored. So let me be clear, we started this work on day one, and we will not spend years in planning mode. This cannot wait. If you know anything about me, you know I understand the urgency in our communities. We're here to take action. Philadelphians need more housing, and they need it now. More housing now. I want Philadelphians, renters and homeowners, in the best possible housing until they can attain the ownership or the quality that they desire. And I want more Philadelphians to become homeowners if that is what they choose. This also means that we will not, and let me just say it again, this also means that we will not in any way, shape, or form pit the have-nots against those who have just a little bit. Chairman Harris, this is about ensuring Philadelphians across income levels and across the city have a safe, secure, and affordable place to live, and I won't play politics on this. We won't pit the have-nots against those who have just a little bit. We won't do it, not in the Parker administration. We won't do it. I'm beyond excited to work with this council to get this done, and I look forward to laying out our full plan in the special session on housing on March 24th. But while we're talking about housing, you should know that we are going to eliminate the construction impact tax. We cannot incentivize the building of new housing with this levy, so we will be removing the construction tax in our efforts to create more housing here in the city of Philadelphia. Education for FY26. We are proud, and as proud as we are of our efforts to improve the quality of our educational systems during the first year of the Parker administration, we know how much more work remains to be done. Senator Hughes, I was heartened to see Governor Shapiro propose millions more for teacher stipends to tackle the dire teacher shortage in the Commonwealth. I was a secondary English teacher trained at Lincoln University, the first historically black degree-granting institution of higher learning in the nation. I had to say it, Ryan Boyer, I couldn't help it. And I know what a stipend would have meant to me when I was doing my student teaching at Coatesville High School. This is why I am proud to note that the city is making another millage shift in the real estate transfer tax in FY30 to increase funding for public education by another $12 million per year to be specifically earmarked for teacher salaries. Our teachers deserve to earn a living wage, and this is part of our ongoing commitment to our teachers as we pull on every lever, from stronger recruitment to workforce housing, to make Philadelphia the best place in the country to work in a classroom. Arthur Steinberg, we hope that you are proud. We look forward to working with you, the PFT, and the school district to get this achieved. Dr. Watlington, we hear you. I'm also proud to announce that we are expanding our extended day and extended year program of before and after school educational enrichment opportunities by 15 more schools, 10 district operated and 5 charter schools. This will bring our extended day and extended year initiative to a total of 40 schools serving thousands of children and their families. Study after study shows that these programs matter greatly when it comes to children's educational development, and we're doing what we said that we would do. I want to thank Chief Deputy Mayor Vanessa Garrett Harley and Chief Education Officer Dr. Deborah Carrera for all of their work here. And over the course of this, none of this progress would be possible without the close working partnership that we have with the best school superintendent in the country, Dr. Tony Watlington. Councilmember Anthony Phillips, I know that this program and value you and I share and support together. I'm happy to note that one parent whose child is thriving because of extended day, extended year is here with us today. Lindsay Russell is the mother of Sydney, who is 9 years old and attends Gompers Elementary School. Sydney is benefiting from extended day and extended year, and her mom wanted to be here today with us. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you. One more young person to lift up this morning, and I'm excited about her. I want us all to welcome Janine Gaskins. She's a 6th grader at Edmonds School, another one of our extended day and extended year schools. Now listen, you gotta hear about her. Listen to what she just achieved. She recently won first place in the One Philly Black History Month Oratorical Showcase that was held at City Hall. Janine is here today with her father, Donovan Gaskins, and her principal, Wendy Sharp. Janine, I too won that oratorical contest in City Hall when I was younger. We want to say congratulations, and we're so proud of you. Now on to something extremely important. Fair, multi-year contracts for our municipal workforce. As Philadelphia readies itself for the world in 2026, and as we focus on 30,000 housing units through our home initiative, it is well worth pausing to remind ourselves of exactly who does all of the work for the residents of the city of Philadelphia. The dedicated municipal workforce that rises to every occasion. That's who our city employees are. Whether it's the Philadelphia police on the front lines, or our firefighters and emergency responders running into harm's way, or the hardworking individuals who pick up the trash every day and keep our streets and sewers clean, or every social worker, librarian, housing employee, or prison correctional officer who shows up every day to serve the people of Philadelphia, or the thousands of other workers in other departments. Our workforce makes me proud and humbled to serve as their mayor. It's important for us to know that city workers are our people, not assets, and we will treat them with the respect and the dignity that they deserve. Councilmember Jimmy Harity, Chair of Council's Committee on Labor, I know that you support this sentiment and believe what I'm talking about. We must lift up our municipal workers. See you, April. So let's just come out and say what many are thinking today. If we can find the money for tax investments and job growth, then surely we can find the money to give our hardworking municipal workers the fair, multi-year contract agreements that they deserve. On today, I am proud to stand before you, council colleagues, and I am proud to report that we have $550 million in the labor reserve funds in this proposed 5-year plan. It's an historic and an unprecedented figure. I am committed under the leadership of our Chief Deputy Mayor, Sincere Harris, and her team of labor negotiators to reach fair and fiscally responsible multi-year agreements with all 4 of our municipal unions this year. Listen, with all that's going on in the country right now with government workers, our One Philly philosophy has never been more important. Roosevelt Poplar of Lodge 5 of the Fraternal Order of Police, Mike Bresnan of Local 22 of the Philadelphia Firefighters and Paramedics Union, Greg Boulware of District Council 33 of AFSCME, and April Jagetz of District Council 47 of AFSCME. I want you to know that we will continue working together to find common ground and get to yes on our multi-year agreements for our city's workforce that pay a fair wage with a health and pension benefit that you can be proud of while maintaining our city's fiscal stability. Presidents Poplar, Bresnan, Boulware, and Jagetz, and all of the hardworking men and women represented by AFSCME, the FOP, Local 22, please stand if you're here in the chambers. Please stand, the leadership. I wanted to be clear about our priorities so that we could make it plain. Economic opportunity. Creating economic opportunity is central to the Parker administration in so many ways. Through our innovative City College for Municipal Employment, we are working in partnership with Community College, the School District of Philadelphia, and others to train Philadelphians for careers in city government. We're talking about good paying city jobs with health benefits and pensions that will mean brighter economic futures. We are upskilling existing city workers too, training them to advance on their career paths. I am super excited to announce that this spring, and please listen to me closely, 32 high school seniors will receive CCME training that will give them the opportunity for city employment with fleet services, the water department, and public property. And we will continue to work with other departments on growing quality opportunities for direct pipelines from our high schools into city employment. So that's right. From the School District of Philadelphia to city employment. That's the kind of pipeline the Parker administration is building for our young people, and we are very excited about it. Now, one of our CCME students is Alina Chandy, who's enrolled in the Computer Support Specialist Program at Community College of Philadelphia, CCME. Alina hopes and plans to work for the city of Philadelphia while supporting herself and her family. Please welcome Alina here with us today. Alina, you are the future that we are fighting for in Philadelphia. Dr. Guy Generals, CCP, Pat Clancy of Philadelphia Works, and of course, our terrific superintendent, Dr. Watlington. Thank you for collaborating with us on CCME. You can learn more, Philadelphia, about CCME and start your pathway to a good job with the city of Philadelphia. All you have to do is check it out at www.phila.gov/CCME. And to our city team, who make this possible every day. Chief Administrative Officer Camille Duchesset, CCME Executive Director Carl DeFries, and Chief Human Resources Officer Candy Jones. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please give them a huge round of applause. Y'all stood it up, and I'm grateful. More on economic opportunity for all. I signed the PHL Open for Business Executive Order last spring, and our Commerce Department, led by Director Alba Martinez, is working to make it faster, easier, and less costly to do business in Philadelphia. You all know that Commerce just announced a new $5 million small business catalyst fund to provide what Della would call love capital, patient capital to businesses early in their growth journey, especially those from historically underinvested neighborhoods. I want to thank you, Alba and Commerce, for getting the job done. Thank you, Alba Martinez. Wellness for FY26. Let's talk about the new wellness ecosystem that we're building under the Parker administration and what it means not only for Kensington, but for our entire city. Before I say another word, it is very important to me that I personally thank a group of public officials who are working every day to improve the quality of life and public safety for the people of Kensington. I speak, of course, of none other than the Kensington Caucus, Councilmember Ketsi Lazada, Councilmember Mark Squilla, Councilmember Mike Driscoll, and Councilmember Jimmy Harity. Thank you for everything that you are doing to help to restore the community of Kensington. You should know that I recently started ours in Kensington, and I held a well-attended community stakeholder meeting, and I will continue engaging with the people. I want to thank you for your support, and you have not been moved on standing firm in delivering for the people of Kensington, and for that we are grateful. Please give them a round of applause. Since day one of my administration, we have worked shoulder to shoulder with the residents of Kensington to end this opioid-driven humanitarian crisis once and for all. So first, we assembled the most experienced people in our city's healthcare system to learn what was working and what wasn't, and how we could work together to create a new ecosystem of wellness care for people struggling with substance use, addiction, mental and behavioral health challenges, and homelessness. It had never been done before, but we assembled that network of experts, we listened, and we took action. We put $100 million in capital investments, the current FY25 budget. Thank you to City Council for helping us to begin building out that network and for the facilities that we needed to provide wellness care. I also want to thank our city solicitor, Renee Garcia, and her dynamic team of lawyers for their relentless work to secure tens of millions of dollars in opioid settlement funds that's reinforcing so much of our wellness work. Thank you. Now, there were some who said that it couldn't be done, that it was too much, too fast. Where would the facility be located? Where was the plan? We did not have time to wait. We are in the middle of a humanitarian crisis, and we acted with urgency, focus, and a plan. Under the leadership of Managing Director Adam Teal, Capital Programs Director Apana Palantino, and a host of city agencies, and with the tremendous work of the Philadelphia Building Trades and other unions, we gutted and rehabilitated an existing city facility in Northeast Philadelphia in 88 days, record time. And we opened the Riverview Wellness Village in January. Riverview has a 336-bed capacity, and I think some of our providers are here. Marikey, Gaudensia, and the Black Doctors Consortium, and it is serving people from across Philadelphia right now. Please give our providers a huge round of applause. Folks, we believe that what we are doing with our wellness model at Riverview can set the standard for how we treat the homeless and unhoused throughout our city. I want to thank Dale Construction and the building trades for working with the partner administration on developing a proof of concept plan as we continue on this journey to address housing for those who are homeless and unhoused in our city. There is nothing we cannot do when we work together, Philadelphia. This is just the beginning, and we will continue building out the Riverview site as I promised we would during FY26. This additional building, you all heard us describe it, that is planned. It will add hundreds of additional beds, which can be adapted to meet the ecosystem's evolving needs. We will invest another $216 million over the next 5-year plan to support all of our wellness operating costs. Riverview provides not just food and shelter, but medical care, behavioral health care, job training, and a host of other services. I'm with you, Councilmember Nina Ahmad, in wanting every Philadelphian to have access to health care, including the most vulnerable. This is how we demonstrate our compassion, care, and love for the most vulnerable people in the city of Philadelphia. In a little over a year, America will be celebrating its 250th anniversary. And I assure you, Philadelphia, the birthplace of democracy, is ready to welcome the world in 2026. We will engage every corner of Philadelphia with meaningful investments, economic opportunity, and a spirit of celebration across every neighborhood. At the same time, we'll ensure that the nation's birthplace and first world heritage city takes center stage as we host a slate of major events that will elevate Philadelphia on the world stage. The big events, you know, they begin this year with the 2025 FIFA Cup, World Cup this summer, followed by Homecoming 250, honoring our veterans and celebrating the founding of the United States Navy and the Marine Corps, founded right here in Philadelphia. Next year is the 2026 FIFA World Cup, MLB All-Star Week, and America 250 celebrations that'll remind the world where this democracy started. So as of last month, the Parker administration, in partnership with Council President Johnson and this council, has committed more than $30 million for partner and event preparations, along with nearly $28 million new investments for public safety to date. So with the mid-year transfer, along with the funding proposed in this FY26 budget, that will bring our total investment in 2026 to over $100 million. This means community events and programming, investments in our commercial quarters, and cleaning and beautifying Philadelphia citywide. This is important. When we clean up areas along Interstate 95 and I-76, these are the areas that guests from all over the country and the world will see first as they arrive in Philadelphia. Sometimes I think some people forget that preparing for 2026 means that we must get our own house in order, and that's what we must do. We're also investing in our transportation infrastructure with the Philadelphia International Airport as our global gateway and SEPTA as the arteries to move these many hundreds of thousands of people around the city and the region. Now, for the record, the airport alone, and I haven't read this anywhere, the airport alone has been putting to use $500 million for capital projects to manage spikes in traveler volume and to ensure a top-class guest experience. Atif Saeed, we are counting on you and the airport execs to make this happen. Thank you so very much. And we're also investing in both our world-renowned arts and cultural institutions, as well as the local treasures that people will discover as they explore our city. Val Gay, I'm so proud we have you on our team, and we need you. This will be an exciting year, and I hope y'all are ready. I know that Michael Newmis, our Director of 2026, and Giselle Jones, our great city representative and Director of Special Events, they are ready. Please give Michael Newmis and Giselle Jones a round of applause. Now on to tax investments. At the beginning of my remarks, I spoke of the city's fiscal health. And our fiscal responsibility today will help free up more money tomorrow for us to invest in services for our residents. I also said that when it comes to economic opportunity for all, we have done well, but that we need to be laser focused on creating jobs for all Philadelphians. The only way to create greater access to opportunity for every Philadelphian is to grow the economic pie, to attract and grow businesses that will create jobs that pay family-sustaining wages. But doing this requires that we finally address a tax structure that's hindered growth and stunted the job creation that we so desperately need. Now, I know this isn't a new challenge, and it's not an easy one. So I'm grateful to Council President Kenyatta Johnson for his wisdom and approach to this issue carefully in collaboration with my administration. This is also why we made no changes to tax rates last year. And we caught a whole lot of heat for making that decision too. Instead, we focused with this council on making deep, historic investments in city services, $2 billion worth, making our neighborhoods safer and cleaner as an important inducement to businesses to locate here and grow. In the meantime, the Tax Reform Commission, reconvened by this council, studied pathways we could take together. Thank you to co-chairs Richard Vague and Matt Stitt, and all of the commission members for their service, and to our friends in the African American Chamber, Hispanic Chamber, Asian Chamber, Independent Business Alliance, and the Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce. For our part, I directed my team to move forward with these guiding principles. First, the changes we make should be significant and unprecedented in scope. Big opportunities warrant big changes from the status quo. Second, we must be fiscally responsible. Nothing is more important than our city's fiscal health. And third, we should take advantage of the fact that finally, Philadelphia's pension fund will soon be fully funded, dramatically reducing costs that have saddled us for decades. This last point is extremely critical. When the pension fund reaches full funding status in fiscal year 2033, pension costs will decrease by more than $430 million per year. This creates an opportunity to set Philadelphia on a different course, one of steady growth and creation of jobs that sustain families and neighborhoods. If we work together, there is nothing we cannot accomplish for Philadelphia. It is time to reform our business tax structure now, right now. Why? Because Philadelphia is an outlier in how we tax businesses. The business income and receipts tax targets both gross receipts and net income. That means both the revenue a business is generating for itself and its profits. Now, Philadelphia, if you've been to my budget briefings and town hall meetings, I want you to just think about your own paycheck in Philadelphia and put this in perspective. Right now, every Philadelphian pays taxes on the gross amount you earn, the gross amount, the total you make. Fair enough. Social Security, Medicare, and other things, that's fair. But here, if you were a business in this city, we're taxing the whole amount you earn and your net, what you have left after paying your bills and daily expenses. That's like a double tax. And our administration, quite frankly, is finally going to address it in partnership with Council President Johnson and this council. We intend to reduce the net income portion of BERT by more than half to 2.8% within 7 years of the pension fund reaching 100% funded status in FY 2023. I know, it's tax investments, not sexy, y'all. Over the same time period, we will eliminate the gross receipts portion of the tax entirely. In the immediate future, and while we face greater uncertainty with our federal funding, we will decrease the net income portion of BERT from 5.81% in FY 25 to 5.5% in FY 30. Now, with that said, an existing exclusion of the first $100,000 in gross receipts is going away. Not because this administration is taking it away, like you may have read. It's not going away because we're taking it away. It's going away because of legal challenges to its constitutionally. And Mr. President, I have to digress. When I was a member of this legislative body, I would never introduce a piece of legislation that wasn't approved by the law department, that they said that they could defend wholeheartedly for us, because I would always be afraid that some decision that we made could have a negative economic impact on our city. And this is affirmation of why the law department in proofing and working through legislation is so important. Now, this is unfortunate because this exclusion that you just heard me reference, it saved thousands of neighborhood-based businesses from even having to file a BERT return with the city. But we are not going to turn our backs on these businesses. The Commerce Department is ready to move forward with the new Jumpstart Business Program with $30 million a year in this 5-year plan that can help impacted businesses with technical assistance and grants. And I have to give credit to the Tax Reform Commission for their signal that jump-starting businesses and jobs is our overarching goal. Now, as for the wage tax, successive administrations have made small but consistent reductions. This should continue too, and we'll be restarting reductions in FY 26. Our plan reduces the wage tax for Philadelphia residents down to 3.7% and for non-residents to 3.39% in FY 2030. Now, while tax investments are never exciting, Philadelphia, I want you to know that this is really a big deal. In fact, no mayor and city council have stood together to reduce both sides of the BERT and the wage tax at the same time in 17 years. Thank you for your leadership, Mr. President. In 17 years. These $212 million in tax reform investments are historic and unprecedented, and I'm proud to stand behind them, and I hope that you are too. Now, listen, this is a part we have to get to, because even before I could get in the building today, I started getting some messages from people saying this is not enough. So, Mr. President, I want to state for the record that I know we're going to have some naysayers, but this is what we can afford to do. And I shall not be moved on this delicate balance of enacting business tax reform while protecting the fiscal stability as a city. We will not. This proposal will spur businesses to grow and new ones to locate here, allowing our residents more and better opportunities to get a good paying job. And that means that I hope out of this efforts to see more SCIU and Unite Here jobs being created for Philadelphians, because we deserve, every Philadelphian, to earn a living wage, health care, and retirement security. Now, if you were to talk to businesses that are here today, if you ask them what they need, they will tell you more than anything, they need certainty. That's why we're codifying these historic reductions beyond this 5-year plan. So don't just listen to what we say, business community. Watch what we do. Philadelphia is open for business, and we welcome you right now, our business community. Now, however, business community and chambers, we have some expectations of you too. As I said during my chamber speech, we need the business community to help us lobby Harrisburg to enact a $15 minimum wage for our Commonwealth. And I want to say to the business community, if that doesn't appear to be possible in Harrisburg, then I want to publicly make an appeal to you on the day that you stand shoulder to shoulder with me, Council President Johnson, and members of this council in fighting for the Pennsylvania General Assembly to give Philadelphia, as the only city of the first class in the Commonwealth, the authority to enact our own $15 minimum wage.
Yeah.
That's what you can do. Now, I'm sorry to start telling your age here, but I'm going to look and glance at you, Chairman Hughes. I want to give some direction because I only spent a couple of years up there. But when I say we need your help, we don't simply need a letter or a rally. What I learned from my few years in Harrisburg is that when the business community speaks up with the heavyweight tone that only the business community can use, both Democrats and Republicans listen. Philadelphia, the time is now for a $15 minimum wage. Our people deserve it. Now, let's talk about East Market Street. After getting through the shock and awe of learning that our 76ers were going to stay in South Philadelphia, no one could deny that this was a good decision for our city. As a matter of fact, it's a win-win-win for our city, the Sixers, and Comcast. The new joint venture between Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment and Comcast, it will lead to a state-of-the-art arena and that mixed-use development in South Philadelphia, building out that vision for the Battery. Comcast, you should have never taken me to see your headquarters and to visit that Battery. I'm in love. In Philadelphia, we can build out a Battery that no one has ever seen before. And I'm excited about that potential. But closest to my heart, especially when I was a member of this body, is a venture, this joint venture that will take Philadelphia one step closer to having its own WNBA team. That I'm excited about. And yes, this will help us to revitalize the historic Market Street East Corridor. I welcome Comcast to this partnership and am so grateful that they are here. Councilmember Squilla, you know that this is why right now we're investing in a planning study to carefully determine our course going forward. And within the next month, I will formally establish the Market East Revitalization Task Force, chaired by Jerry Sweeney. Jerry could not be with us here on today. He's got a business to run, but he sends his regards to everyone, and he is all in on this assignment. Please give Jerry Sweeney a thank you round of applause. Thank you, Jerry. You should know that, yes, we'll include representatives from Chinatown and the rest of Center City. It will also include those who own land and property along the corridor, as well as the Sixers and Comcast, who remain committed to revitalizing Market East. Now, as for the new arena in South Philly, we can now leverage all of the work already being done, especially on to how to ensure economic opportunity for local residents and businesses to make sure that this project benefits the city as a whole. I want to be very clear. Nothing about our intent and our goals changes. A project of this magnitude has to have a positive benefit for the entire city, and these efforts will lay out the foundation for that next exciting round of work. I want you to know that I feel really good about the fact that a woman who, I don't know anybody who works harder than her or who's smarter than her. My Chief of Staff, Tiffany Thurman, I thank you and am so grateful that you will lead this effort. Tiffany manages all things related to our efforts, and I'm grateful, Tiffany, for your help. Now, here's what everybody's been waiting for. That's nice to hear you talk about all those investments, but now you're going to have to tell us how you're going to pay for it. And that's important, because I've never been one who could tell you how to spend some money, but not how we're going to raise the money to pay for what we want. The first answer, the biggest answer, is from the dramatic savings we're going to see from lower pension payments once the pension fund reaches 100% funding. But we're also going to make adjustments in this proposed budget and 5-year plan to make ends meet. First, a small increase to the realty transfer tax will generate $173 million over the next 5 years. When we need to build or preserve 30,000 units of housing, this revenue will help us to get there. And don't forget, and this is when Philadelphia, we should celebrate ourselves, because we have what not a whole lot of other cities have. We have Philly First Home, our program that provides closing costs and down payment assistance. And I'm not sure how many people paid attention to the Wells Fargo Neighborhood Lift program to also help with housing costs and down payments. This plan also proposes, this is the second phase of this plan proposes increasing the parking rate in Center City from $3 to $4 per hour. This would be, and I didn't know this until we were going through these rates, this would be the first parking rate increase since 2014 and will provide revenue to both the school district and the city's general fund. And lastly, we'll increase Housing Trust Fund portion of the document recording fee by $3 and use the revenue to help cover Councilmember Catherine Gilmore Richardson, our Tangled Title work as a part of our housing plan. Tangled Title work, important for housing in the city of Philadelphia. I don't take lightly any proposal or to raise a fee or a tax. We don't take any of it lightly, and we took no such actions during our first year in office. But I also know that we did big things, bold things. And by working together and thinking creatively and acting decisively, these new revenues and the savings from a healthy pension fund will make the big things possible. From housing and fair contracts to tax reform and wellness, these investments in the long run will make our city the safest, cleanest, and greenest big city in America with access to economic opportunity for all. Nothing about our vision, goals, and/or objectives have changed. We remain laser focused on our mission to deliver a government that people can see, touch, and feel. And I don't know about you, but no matter where I am in the city of Philadelphia, people will tell me that they feel that something different is happening in neighborhoods across the city. And I'm glad we don't promise perfection, but just to do the best that we can. And I'm happy they know that we are making good on our promises. In closing, I want you to know that my name is Cherelle L. Parker, and I am the 100th mayor and first woman to lead Philadelphia in 341 years. I propose this One Philly 2.0 budget to the City Council of Philadelphia with historic investments in public safety, clean and green education, housing, fair contracts for city workers, and tax investment and job growth. And I do wholeheartedly approve this message. Today is just the beginning of this process. I'm coming soon to a neighborhood near you for a budget briefing or housing town hall meeting. Let's work together with collaboration, diligence, and purpose towards its passage and implementation for Philadelphia with a shared goal: a safer, cleaner, and greener city with economic opportunity for all. Together, I pray and believe. Everybody put your ones in the air for me right now. Oh, that's not nice. Everybody put your ones in the air. Let me hear you all say, one Philly, a united city. They're recording this. You have to do it louder. Repeat after me. One Philly, a united city. Let's go, Philly. Let's go.